So we have done the redistribution of what to what? EIGRP to OSPF. We haven't done OSPF to EIGRP. So let us do that. So redistribute OSPF to EIGRP. On VDC 4 such that nodes Okay, so the question says, since in my OSPF network, what are the devices that I have? Except for switch 1, all the devices are participating in OSPF, and the loopbacks that we have configured should be visible in EIGRP, but the condition is you have to use a prefix list that has to have a /32 match for the loopbacks of R1, VDC1 and VDC2, and you have to use a prefix list that has to do a matching for of /24 match for the loopbacks of VDC3 and VDC4. So help me out with this. How would I do this? Need to create a route map first. Name is say OSPF2. Yeah, sure. What should I do in the route map? Permit in sequence number 10. Right? Now I need to match that the loopbacks of R1, VDC1 and VDC2 that should have a /32 match. Right? And if I'm using the prefix list, and for the loopbacks of VDC and VDC4 that I should have a /24 match.
Then only they should be redistributed.
Yes. So in my prefix list, because we need to match the IP address that is given by a prefix list, name say C this time. Okay. The prefix list name C should do what? IP prefix list name C should permit the loopbacks of R1. So what is the loopback of R1? Right?
Yeah.
Now, if you do not write the prefix length after that, and if you hit enter, that will also be the prefix length. If you write /32 and hit enter, that is also the prefix length. Okay, you don't have to write the prefix length. But you cannot do like this 24 and hit enter, then that will be the prefix length and cannot match /32. So can I, but if I want to match, say for example, just match, okay, can I use /24 to do that and hit enter? If you write /32 and hit enter, the prefix length is /32, right?
Yeah.
If I write /24 and hit enter, the prefix length is how much? /24. So will it match? Why would it not match? Forget the question. Will it match if the question was not this also? Forget the question. It will still not match. Why? Because how are loopbacks advertised in OSPF? How are loopbacks advertised in OSPF? /32, right? Not /24. Although the mask that we have given is /24, but how does OSPF advertise it? /32. So until and unless I match /32, it's not gonna match. Are you getting my point? Okay, be careful with this whenever you are doing OSPF. This is a problem with the prefix list, which most of the people tend to forget with OSPF. And I not only need to match him /32, I also need to match other loopbacks. So IP prefix list the same should also permit whom?
If we have considered the
VDC1's loopback?
point to point, then we can use
Yes.
24 also.
/24, then only you can use. And who's VDC2 also? Right? Which is 2.2. This are we match and we permit. Right? That is question number B. Right? So I'll copy this, and what we need to do after that, redistribute, right? So that we achieve question number B first. So we are gonna go to where? Router, EIGRP, 10, redistribute what? OSPF A using the route map. On VDC 4. Right? Now that should appear on which switch one? Show IP, route, EIGR. So that comes as DEX route, right? I'm getting 1.1, 2.2, 11.11. Fine. They are all coming as what? /32. That's also fine. Right?
Yeah.
Now, if I am gonna do it for question number C for VDC 3 and 4, right?
Yeah.
So for VDC 4, if you do show run interface loopback 0, previously we had given this command. I'll remove that. Okay, I'll remove that. Now, if I write a prefix list for the second question, right? I need to write Can I write with the same prefix list? It's possible, right? See, permit, it will automatically take the next sequence number by increments by 5 every time. Okay, so permit, here also I permit for whose loopback? 3 and 4, right? So how do I match 3's loopback? Can I match like this? It is telling to match what? But in the prefix list it's telling me to use /24.
Yeah.
But if I use /24, it will not work. Why? because they are being advertised as /32, and if I match /24, it does not work. Let us first see that, right? I'll do /24, okay, and I'll also do that for my loopback of 4, which is 4.4.4.4. If I do this, copy this, paste this out on VDC4, right, and do clear IP EIGRP, then neighbors, okay, and check. If it would have redistributed, we should get all the routes, right? But do we get all the routes? No, we get only the question number B routes. We don't get question number C routes. Why? Because our prefix list is wrong. Our prefix list says match /24 for 3.3.3.3, and that 3.3.3, if you check your routing table for OSPF, the 3.3 is not coming as /24, and my prefix length would not match that. But I have to use /24 in my as my prefix list. So what should I do then? I should change the network type for this, right? Then only it will work. So if I change the network type of this on which VDC? VDC3, I go to the interface loopback 0 IP OSPF network type point to point. If I give, and now check in VDC4, that should come as what? /24, right? If it comes as /24, now I should be matching that with the prefix list, and then it will be permitted, right? Remember, prefix list has to match the prefix length. If it does not match the prefix length, it does not fulfill the match condition. Okay, so it's not just the prefix, it also has to match the prefix length. Like in an extended IP access list, you have to match source IP. Can you not? Then also you have to match destination IP. Both has to fulfill, right? It's not only source IP matches, destination IP didn't match, that will work. Both has to match to work. Here both prefix as well as prefix length has to match to work. Not only the network match, nothing happens. Prefix length also should match to do the work. But you do not see 4.4.4.4/32 or /24. Why is that so? Why is 4.4 not being shown? I should go and change the network type there also, point to point. Okay, I'll change that. IP OSPF network point to point. Okay, I'll do that. I'll check again. Right? Do I get it?
We have to create one more of this route map.
I don't get it. Why?
It's a directly connected.
It's not a OSPF route for R4, right? What have we redistributed in our VDC4? We have just redistributed
only OSPF routes.
OSPF. Have we redistributed connected?
No.
By default in iOS, when you did redistribution, connected routes also got redistributed by default. If you remember, right? It doesn't happen for Nexus. In Nexus, connected route does not go by default. So since for VDC4, those routes are not a OSPF route, right? Because what we have redistributed in EIGRP, we have redistributed OSPF and not connected routes. So if you want to redistribute connected routes, there is another command to do that. It's not redistribute connected also. Okay. So you go to the router, EIGRP process, redistribute, direct. And the thing is, here also you need to use route map. Okay. So route map will never. So which route map? I can use another route map, right? Yeah. So let the route map name be connected. So this route map. So I will put this here. You understood this, right? What we are doing? This should match /24. But for this to work, what we had to do? For this to work, we had to go to that interface loopback 0 and change the network type. This worked when we did that, right?
Yeah.
Network type to what? Point to point. This worked, but it didn't work for him because that is connected to VDC. It will not get redistributed by default. So we need to do redistribute what? Direct here, right?
Indirect, right.
Okay. So if I use another route map, what will happen then? Say for example, I gave a command redistribute what to what? OSPF process name was A, right? Using a route map connected, say. So both the route maps are there, right? Sorry, both the route maps that was there previously. What happened to that? Got overridden.
Yeah.
Right? Can you overwrite the previous questions?
No.
You can't, right? So you have to do it in the same route map. You cannot write a new route map. Okay?
One more match.
So you had to write the previous route map, which was which route map? OSPF to EIGRP was the route map previously, right? Because if you do show run section EIGRP, you will see that only one route map can be used for a process to redistribute, right? I cannot use two route maps for the same process. So in the same route map, I have to include this as well, right? So in order to include in the same route map, first of all, what I gave the command, I gave this command, redistribute OSPF A using the route map OSPF to EIGRP. And we need to do what? Redistribute connected, right?
Yeah.
Which is what? Direct using route map, same route map. We have to use the same route map. So the route map has to have one more match statement, right? So match IP address. Can I write like this, another match statement?
We can add one more sequence number there.
I need not match also, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because it's permitting, right? And permitting without, actually permitting with matching, then you can write in another sequence number 20, right? Because when you write two match statements, what happens? AND operation happens. If there are two match statements, match IP address given by prefix list C and match IP address, means that has to be an AND operation, then only it will match. Okay, so you cannot write in the same sequence number of the route map. You have to write in another sequence number, which is sequence number 20. Then you need to write match IP address, or should I match? There's no need to match actually, right? Because permit the rest. Or even if you want to match, you can match. Here in this case, you can even match the interface loopback 0. Done. That will match the interface loopback 0 and do it. Right? You need not match always with the help of access list, prefix list. You can match interface. You can match several things with the help of route map. But the match statement should not be in the same sequence number. Why? Because that will do a AND operation and it will not work. Okay, so we need to add some statements here then, right? So first of all, we'll go to my route map. So let's see what route map do we have. So route map EIGRP OSPF, EIGRP to OSPF, EIGRP to OSPF. This route map, right? We need in sequence number 20. I'll match. So you have an option of interface, right? Which interface I want to match? Loop back 0. I'll just match it. I'll not set anything because the question does not say me to set anything, right? So if I have done that, I'll go to the router, EIGRP process, and redistribute. Also what? Direct, using the route map. OSPF to EIGRP. So let us do clear IP EIGRP neighbor and check this on switch 1. So I do get it, and that comes as /24. Why? Because that's not OSPF route. That was a directly connected route that I'm advertising. So there is no need of matching the prefix length. When I need to match the prefix length, when it's advertised via OSPF, that's when it'll always advertise as /32. But if I see that as directly connected, I see the original mask of that particular network, and hence you get that, as you see. Or you could have done it with the help of what? Prefix list also, no problem. Better is like simply match the interface, right? If you have directly connected interface, simple, because more you do not make your configurations complex. First of all, you try to always make your configurations simple, because it's not only you in the network who is designing the network or implementing, right? Somebody has to take over your shifts, and he does not understand what you did. You cannot make it complex, right? It has to be as simple as possible. So to make it as simple as possible, you would have to use a lot of access lists, a lot of prefix lists, and decrease them. Decrease them with the help of what? Wildcard mask, the number of statements. Decrease them with the help of the summary that we can do, right? So all of these things are required to do that. Okay, so this is how you do it, guys. Yeah.
In this case, do we need to call another route map like permit 20?
For
in the prefix list, I already have that subnet as a /24.4.
Yeah.
I'm calling the same route map.
Yeah.
Permit 10. I think it should go.
No. In the prefix list, the route map says in sequence number 10, you match anything that has to be matched with the prefix list name C. Right.
The last statement is having matching that, right?
Yes. So prefix list C is matching all of this, right? But this is also being matched, right? So it will work in that case.
Either we can remove this.
Yeah. Yeah. But you have to give this command. You distribute direct.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. This is how we do it. Not important for exam point of view. You are not told to do the distribution or something like that, or make it complex, something like that, because this is not a routing switching exam, first of all, right? Data center exam means routing switching is not that much concentrated on. But you, for a knowledge point of view or from a working point of view, you have to know it. Your manager expects you to know this, or the interviewer expects you to know this. So as I told, where is your layer 3 boundary in any data center point of view? Nowadays the layer 3 boundary would be in the core layer, right? So I have my Nexus 7K here, suppose. Okay, I have my Nexus 5K here, and I have my Nexus 2K that connects me down to my servers and all, right? Now normally nowadays we are considering this all as layer 2. Previously we would have a boundary of layer 3 and layer 2 here previously, right? But nowadays this all are considered as layer 2. So where will you have layer 3 is here, which connects me to my WAN, through which I am doing things like OTV and all. For that I require layer 3 here. Now here there may be a router who is running EIGRP, which you are not allowed to access. So but the configuration has been already done here. These are known as backbone devices, which you are not allowed to access even in the labs. Okay, they are pre-configured for you. So you may be asked to run, if he is running OSPF, you may be asked to run OSPF here. or if he's running EIGRP, you may be asked to run EIGRP, so that you form neighborship, and maybe you will be asked to do redistribution as well there, right? But normally you are running EIGRP to EIGRP, so there is no need of redistribution. There is no need of redistribution. In case you have to run EIGRP and he was running OSPF or something like that, then we need, right? But it's not required though. So this is the point where all those routing happens, because from here I do what, fabric path, VPC and all only, right? Yeah. I don't do routing normally here. I do routing outside to my WAN. Okay. So guys, please do practice this. This can even be practiced without a Nexus device.